It's another great day at Quad Radio USA. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Quad Radio here on quadradio.net and through Facebook, and we appreciate you tuning in. And, of course, we also appreciate the support we have out there. Make sure you check out our support page at quadradio.net. We've also got some pretty cool things going on the new website that's coming to life, some archive shows, as well as the segment that I like, the Where to Ride page, and that'll give you an idea of where you can ride in the upcoming weeks and give you an idea of how to schedule. We've got tracks on there from the UK and all over the United States, so be sure and check that out. Again, it's quadradio.net. I want to take this opportunity as well to say thanks to our good friends at Impact Solutions over in Little Hocking, Ohio, and of course Casey Greek and the folks over there with that Elka suspension is going to take real good care of you, and they take real good care of a lot of great folks out there, and some folks that has taken real good care of us from a spectating point of view. In the GNCC racing world today, our guest, the winningest GNCC racer of all time, the living legend, and six-time ATV champ. We're talking about Chris Borich as we say hello and welcome to the champ himself. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great here. I know that a lot of cool things going on in your world, just coming off of probably one of the most exciting races you've had in quite some time, believe it or not. And I know it was one of the most exciting ATV races I've had a chance to watch in GNCC, and watching you and the young gun of Brycen Neal battle it down to right down to the very end there in Georgia a few weeks ago was a whole lot of fun. But, hey, man, that's in the past, and the future is ahead of us. And that's one thing that you've always done. You've always been good about looking forward, and we'll talk about all that kind of stuff. But, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. First and foremost, what's going on in Chris Borich's world right now, man? And here we are. It is what is it, Wednesday here today prior to the Steele Creek GNCC, which is quite likely one of the most storied GNCCs on the tour, if you ask me.
Yeah, for sure. We're just working on bikes, trying to get dialed in, trying to ride here as much as we can. Last week was a really good riding week for us. I think I rode every day, putting the time in. Got to ride with Jared McClure and a couple buddies around here. So been putting the work in. We're hungrier than ever to get obviously get a win and get back to where I know where I need to be and where I should be. So 2 weeks ago there in Georgia, we put on a good show. We not where we wanted to be. Obviously, we wanted to win, but big congrats to Brycen. He held his own ground, and it was good. It was a good battle right to the end, and we tried to put on an awesome show for everyone, which I think we did. Yeah, so we're just, like I said, we're hungry, we're working hard, and looking forward to North Carolina.
That's awesome, Chris. But, you know, I mean, how do you stay motivated, man? I mean, really, first and foremost, I know that this always gets to be a sticky situation, but I think you're kind of cool with it. How old are you right now anyway? What, 30?
35.
35. So you're, in reality, I mean, you're probably in the prime of everything, physical peak condition, and it's just a matter of finding what you need to find right now, I guess, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been down in Florida. We put in a good training camp this winter here with Johnny and Chad, and just seemed to work. And then we made some changes up to the bike, and it's actually working out really, really good. We ended up changing shocks this year to Custom Access. Mike and those guys at Custom Access really got me dialed in and feeling comfortable on the bike, and I just feel comfortable. So we're just South Carolina there. We had a problem at the start. Basically gave everybody a head start. And Florida, we were running good, and then just had a little problem on a couple things with the bike, and then we come back out in Georgia swinging. So we're chomping at the bit. I know there's a win in there somewhere, and as soon as I get one, game on. So I felt really close there. So like I said, we've been pushing pretty hard these past 2 weeks, and gonna work hard this week and leading up to the race.
So did you do anything different this year? I mean, obviously, I mean, it's been what, since what, 14, that last race in 2014, since you got your last win number 73, which was phenomenal in and of itself, the way it came down, and obviously setting a record that has been hard to break for even you since then.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, have you found it hard? I mean, obviously the switch to the Yamaha, it just didn't fit. And then, you know, everybody got excited, and I was one of them. I'm thinking, hey man, Chris is going back to the Suzuki. This should be the ticket. He's going to be all over Walker. I mean, I guess, you know, when you look at it, was the year off of the Suzuki and the changes that you made in yourself and in your program to adapt to the Yamaha and trying to adapt back to the Suzuki, was that a bigger step than maybe what you figured? Or was it the fact that, kind of like when we stirred the pot there a few years ago talking about the pace and the speed, has the pace really just picked up that much? And it's not a matter that you can't keep up with it. It's just a matter of, it's just, you know, kind of mind-boggling at that particular point. And it just took you a little while to adjust to it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the Yamaha, me and it didn't mesh well. And I think trying to go back to the Suzuki, I thought I'd been back to where I was, but just still in the back of my head, knowing what the Yam did compared to my Suzuki, I was just kind of hesitant to push the issue. And then obviously there were some good things about the bike, and then I tried to relay that over to the Suzuki, and it just didn't work. But needless to say, yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think the pace changed that much. I think just the intensity from start to finish has went up. I mean, speed-wise, I think everybody's still there. It's just right out of the gate, go 2 hours.
Right. Where I guess the pace, I mean, because, and even Walker, I think, had mentioned this in the interview that I did with him here recently. He's the type of guy that he tries to get out and he sprints early. And that's something that we never did really see. I guess everybody kind of stayed together and felt the track out and learned the track in years prior. But he kind of brought a different, like you said, just, I mean, it's intensity from the word go, from the drop to the green flag. I mean, your heart rate goes right up and you never have a chance to really let it come down, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's definitely good at the sprints, and that's where I'd say his strong point is where he tries to gap us right away, and then it seems like he can hold his ground. But I mean, races that he started behind us or we stayed with him for half a lap, he couldn't shake us. So I think that's where it comes into effect there. But yeah, his intensity the first lap, that's where everybody's kind of slacking. Or if we have a bad start, seems like he's always got a good start. He can get through to people, or he's already through to people in the lead, and we're trying to work our way through, and he can gap us that quick. But yeah, I think the race speed is obviously picked up a little bit, but I don't think it went crazy. There's only so fast you can go through the woods. I mean, but just like I said, the intensity from the green flag, the first lap is where I think the game has changed a little bit.
Right, and I totally agree. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense, and point proven. I mean, just this past race. I mean, if Walker gets behind, it's not that he's unbeatable at all. I mean, it's not. And I think that he'll be the first one to admit that. You'll admit it. Even whenever you were at the top level of your game, as hard as it was to beat you, you were not unbeatable at that point. It just took certain things to happen, and people had to be in certain places at certain times to make it happen. And it's just a matter, I think, right now of you guys figuring it out. And I guess it's safe to say one race won't say that you guys have necessarily figured it out. But by golly, it had to feel really good to be back up there again, huh?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely, like I said, we were pumped. And I know, like I said, Brycen's a good racer, and he's been pushing. He's young. And like I said, congrats to him on his first win. It was good to push him right to the end and give him the pressure. I mean, I wanted it bad, but he'll get there. we're excited. I'm pumped, and I don't know. It was nice to have a change of faces on the podium as well.
It was really cool. I'm not going to lie about that. Nothing against anybody, but you know how my take on that. I like to see it mix up, and I like to see a good championship, and I like to see good battles and things like that. And I do have to say, man, I was torn. I love both you and I love Bryce. I love them all. I love every one of you guys, man. But whenever you guys were going down to the thing, I had like on each side of my shoulder, man, and I got one going in my ear, man. This is Brycen's chance to win his first race ever. This is Chris Borich's chance to break that losing streak and win number 74. And really, I had all this, and I was just like, ah! But I was just so excited. I mean, either way, I think there was a little disappointment. If you would have won, I may have been a little disappointed that Brycen didn't get his first win like when Brycen got his first win, and I was excited for him. A little disappointed that you couldn't break that streak and that snap that and get back into your winning ways and stuff. But I think all in all, I guess what I'm saying is that was the best thing that could have happened for our sport in a long, long time, man.
Yeah, for sure. We did. We definitely put a good show on. We right from the get-go, we battled it out, and it was just it was three. Actually, there was 4 or 5 of us there at one point. You had Cole in there. McClure was in the mix. He stayed right there. Adam was in there for a little bit. So it was definitely good. And then it seemed like right towards the end, me and Brycen were able to gap McClure probably 10 seconds or so and kind of duke it out. And he said it was pretty sweet. He was able to watch a little bit of the line choices and the aggression we were trying to take on just pushing the issue in some corners. But yeah, I thought I had him there in the Monster Mile. I think that section, what the GNCC is doing now with Monster Mile stuff, that's pretty cool stuff. And we were side by side right there and banging a little bit, little rubbins racing, and but just came up a little short. But I felt like I said, I felt like we were there, and we'll take it to the next round.
Now, my next question is: we're looking forward. We're coming up on Steele Creek. Steele Creek is, man, that place has got some pretty good memories there for you, from what I can recall, at least from a spectator standpoint. Some of your greatest battles, one with Taylor Kaiser, that stuff pops out in my mind in particular when you guys were battling so tight that year. Talk a little bit about Steele Creek and its history with you. I know that's one thing that stands out in my mind, but I'm sure, buddy, there's a lot of things that stand out in your mind as far as this upcoming race. And you almost, probably have to feel like there might be some advantage coming to you in this place for some reason. At least for me, it seems like it. I don't know. Just because of the stories and the history, and we know how this place likes to shake things up.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely one of the toughest tracks, I'd say, out there for passing, and you got to get a good start. And then the way the weather's looking, it possibly could be a little slick as well. So that's where traction comes into play, having a good tire set up, my Maxxis tires, obviously. And but yeah, there's been some good memories there with Kaiser. We were battled out right to the end. It was a good time. And then probably 2-3 years ago, it's probably been longer than that, me and Jared McClure battled it out to the end on that one mud race. But yeah, there's been a lot. Bissell back in the day, McGill, Walker. There's a lot of good memories there, and we've done well there as well. So we're looking forward to it. It's nice to get down south again, get in some. Looks like it's not going to be some warmer weather this weekend, but some good racing though. I'm looking forward to it.
Right. Now, I'm looking forward to it. North Carolina, man, it can either be 80 degrees and dusty and miserable hot, or it can be 20 degrees and snow and rain and cold and wet and just miserable that way. That's one of the things about North Carolina. I'm hoping for a kind of in-betweener there this weekend. But when you look back at this particular facility that we're coming up to, we talk about Kaiser and we talk about Biffle. One name that we haven't really brought up, Bill Balance, man, probably one of the biggest nemesis of your career, the man that basically made you who you are and helped make Walker Fowler and a lot of these riders who they are chasing him, chasing you, and so forth and so on, man. Talk a little bit about Bill Balance. Do you remember any big battles there with Bill Balance at Steele Creek by any chance? Anything stick out there?
I don't think really Steele Creek. I think we did have some good battles. I just remember Georgia back in the day, me and him battling it out. I ended up catching him, and it was just it was a good out battle. But yeah, he was a tough dude. I mean, he, like you said, he made me who I am today, and just kept pushing. I mean, he took a lot of wins from me, and then once I kind of figured out the game and how to play it, we definitely took advantage of it.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, no doubt. Now, do you guys ever communicate, or is he just pretty much just gone and just hasn't? Because I've seen him like once or twice, hear about him on very rare occasions. Somebody say I talked to Bill Balance, but I mean, it's just kind of like he retired, had the team for a couple years, and then he just kind of like vaporized off into the mist, man, like a legend.
Yeah, I think I've seen him. He's been to a few. I think I've seen him 3-4 times, but kind of stinks. I mean, obviously, a dude that good and that many wins, that many championships. It's a shame that he's definitely not around the series as much. And like you said, a lot of people that are coming up through the rankings don't even know who Bill Balance is. I mean, they look at his name and see he's won a lot, but they don't see him. They don't recognize it. So I'm hoping when I get to that point, at least people will still remember me and possibly be around for a long time in the series.
Exactly. And there's a good question. I mean, Bill chose his obvious, his path at home and Bowling Green with the family business and things like that, and probably still in some motorsport stuff too, if truth be told. But yeah, what does the future hold for Chris Borich? I know your dad's a junk man. Are you just going to go off into the junk business and start doing that kind of stuff? Or are you do you have future plans? I mean, you've never been a team-oriented person. We've never seen like Chris Borich. Oftentimes you have all these people that are running around. You've got like a little team of people that you're coaching. I've never really seen you. I mean, you've got friends and you mentor people, so to speak, but I've never really seen that team aspect. Is that something that you might be looking toward in the future?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, obviously, yeah, my dad owns a junkyard business and a car crushing business. So, I mean, eventually, if worse comes to worse, we can go that route. But obviously, I want to try to keep racing as long as I can. I'm healthy, strong. Like you said, my age, but age is just a number. I feel young. Probably the best I've felt in a long time, and still having fun. And that's where it comes into. If I'm not having fun, you probably won't see me. But as long as I'm having fun and enjoying the sport, and obviously, like you said, possibly do some riding schools, maybe a team. You never know. Definitely would like to adventure into the riding schools and try to. I've done a couple now, but adventure into that and try to help people out of what I know with racing and the skills that I've picked up to help those guys out.
Right. That's great, man. And I'm glad to hear that. And something I've noticed, I mean, did you go through a time where, I don't want to say you were disgruntled, don't want to say that the fire wasn't there, but you just weren't as satisfied, as happy, as comfortable, maybe confused if you were where you wanted to be at that particular point in time? Have you found that at any point in the last couple of years? And if you did, obviously you answered that question, because I think that your attitude is certainly, your personality's changed a lot in the last year and a half, I think.
Yeah, that was, I mean, the year we won the championship right at the end, that was a big boost. And obviously pumped to get the championship, take the win. Like that was cool. And then we went to the Yamaha. I was pretty stoked on getting a deal. Like I was like, I'm kind of at my age. Like they came at me, offered me a deal, and I was like, probably take it, see what it's about. I think it would be a good bike. I got to ride it a little bit. And then as soon as I started trying to put power to it, trying to go fast, just things, like I said, just didn't work out for me, with motors to ECUs to suspension, trying to get get it all dialed in.
Can I ask you, was it the biggest mistake of your career, do you think?
Yes, for sure.
I mean, not because it's a bad machine, but because it was just a bad.
It's just not. Yeah, just not. Me and it didn't mesh. So, like I said, not taking anything from Yum. Obviously, Walker's won a bunch. Wienen's won a bunch. I mean, a lot of people run the bikes, great bikes. But for me and Yum, I mean, I've tried one back in, what was that, '04. Didn't like it, went to the Honda. Tried it again, so yeah, I kicked myself in the butt. I think if we'd have been on the Suzuki, obviously, yeah, the pace or the intensity changed a little bit there, but I think we'd have been a lot better. But yeah, I was down on myself there a little bit. Just didn't let people see it. I was mad, but like I said, kept it to myself. Came home, tried to figure stuff out. I never gave up on it. Kept trying, and just maybe at Ironman there we had a pretty good package. I think I finally figured it out, and then we had a little electrical problem and just put me back. So, and then we went to the Suzuki thinking going right to the Suzuki I'd be back to where I was, and then kind of just struggled with setup on that, and obviously not touching the bike for a year. And so yeah, but now we're obviously this year I've been training real hard. Like I said, got the suspension pretty much where I'd like it, really happy with it, and having fun. Like I said, having fun on the bike, not really getting arm pump, not getting tight on the bike. I mean, that's all key plays right there to having fun on a bike.
And I think that's obvious, man. I mean, I see that on and off the track. I see that you're really having fun, and it's odd that it happens like that because you spend a lot of time with with Chad Wienen. And Chad Wienen and Chris Borich have been training together for a long time. And Chad, I'm not going to say he came off his worst season ever because last season wasn't a bad season at all. He just came up a little bit short on points.
Yep.
His attitude changed too. It's almost like the weight of the world lifted off his shoulders, and you two being together has been good for both of you, I think. And the combination with Johnny, obviously, Johnny lightens the mood, I think, a lot in any way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it stinks to lose your championship, lose that #1 plate, and obviously Chad felt that last year, so it kind of lit a fire under his butt. And now, like I said, I'm finally getting back into having a good bike underneath me, feeling comfortable on a bike, and just working together. And obviously we can talk about that. I mean, he had it taken from him, and I had it taken from me, and that's obviously all you want to do is work harder and get back what you want.
That's awesome. I mean, and putting it in that perspective like that's pretty cool. Whenever I mean, what better way could you have it to inspire both you guys, man, is to work together like that. So, and I mean, even before that, you guys were good friends, and I just think that's cool. But I will say, I mean, I've noticed a big change in both of your just demeanors at the racetrack. I mean, not that either one of you have ever been rude or mean. You've always been good to me. We've always been able to talk. But when I watch you interact with other people, when I see you by yourself and there's nobody around and just your demeanor, you look like totally happier people in better places than you've been in a long time. And that's good. And that to me makes me really excited about what the future has. I mean, obviously, it's not out of the grasp of reality that you're still a championship contender. I mean, Walker may be tough to beat. It may take little things, but from what I understand, man, you might have forced those mistakes early in the race at Georgia and got inside his head right off the bat. If you can figure out how to do that again, or somebody else does it again, all of a sudden, championship's wide open again, man, and Walker's not up there kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah, I'm with you there. We just like I said, he's good at the start. If he can get a good start and get out in front of us, it's hard to kind of hold him back. But if we get out in front and obviously run our own race, and he has little bobbles here and there, yeah, you've seen it at Georgia. He's not unbeatable. So there's, like I said, nothing taken away from him. He's a heck of a rider. He's a heck of a racer. He pushes it, but yeah, points are points are closed up a bunch now. So,
and that's I mean, I realize it's only round 4, dude, but you got to think, man, it could be 20-point deficit right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, he put on a good show last year. I mean, he gave it to us. I mean, he won 12 out of 13. That's a heck of a run. So
don't want to let that happen again, do we?
Yeah, no more of that. So we're, like I said, we're chomping at the bit. We're working hard. Everybody is. So we want to.
You're right. And Chris, I know we sit and we talk in circles a lot, and I do that, but there's just certain things that just I don't know. But I have a lot of questions here. I posted on Facebook a little bit ago. We were going to be going and doing our interview, and I asked if there were any questions that people had. So I'm going to read some of these questions. Some of them we'll see whether or not they touch nerves or not, and see what happens here. But first question, Mark Hickey chimed in right off the bat. He says, how does he see the future of the sport and where it's going? And that's a good question. What's your take on that?
Hopefully it keeps growing. It seems like we're still got good spectator turnout. We got good rider turnout. Hoping the manufacturers, as far as like Suzuki, Honda, some of those guys come back into the picture, but I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see anybody making moves. So I don't know. We might all be back on aftermarket bikes again, like back in the old days, and hopefully one day Suzuki or Honda or whatever realizes they need to obviously bring a factory rod back out again. So
that brings up a good topic of conversation, because we're having on the ATVMX side, you know what we're talking about. They're being good friends with Chad Ween, and we're under the same situation there. You've got Honda quit making a machine a couple of years ago. The good news is, and it doesn't signify that they're bringing a machine, but factory racing support is back in the sport with Joel Hetrick and so forth. So that's good news on that side of things.
Yep.
That means that they still have some interest, even though they aren't producing a machine right now. Maybe they're using the amateur side of it as some R&D type stuff. I don't know. That's what I'm kind of hoping and keeping my fingers crossed for. But, yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we talk a lot about. I mean, Yamaha right now, the only one that's got a freshly manufactured machine. I don't know if plans on making and releasing some next year, or they're going to sit back a couple of years as well and see what the market, happens to the market. I mean, nobody knows where it's going. We're all kind of like hoping.
Limbo mode right now.
Right. But, I mean, can the aftermarket companies, can the Walshes, can the JBs, can the D Manshacks and the Rages and these guys, can they, the DASs, I mean, whoever, can they bring these machines, these parts, these components? Can they bring and keep the sport alive like what we saw them do in the late 80s and through the 90s, basically?
I think they could. I mean, I think it would boost their businesses, get them more motivated to push and do more stuff. But I mean, obviously the main goal is the factories. I mean, that's what we all ride. We train for. We want that factory support, but obviously they're not making a sport bike right now, so it's kind of a bummer. But I guess you got to go where, I mean, like me on an LTR, they're hard to find now. I mean, the last one they made is 09. So they're getting kind of scarce, but we got a stockpile of them if we just keep running the production stuff. And then you got Yamaha. I mean, yeah, they're still making the same bike, but they haven't changed the bike from 09. Just bold new graphics. So, and then Honda's the same way. They made it from 06 to 14. So it's just, I don't know, hopefully next year, 2 years, somebody lights a fire under their butts and gets something going and makes a new machine for everybody. But I think the problem there is if you do bring a new machine out, there you go. You got a whole bunch of R&D and testing and trying to figure stuff out compared to what we have 10 years or so on a bike we got now.
Right. So well, that's interesting. I mean, and that's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, we could be back to that. Hopefully that's not the case. I mean, some indications are, I mean, you look at it, it goes both ways. Depends on if you're optimistic or pessimistic, I guess. Yeah. And I guess the writing's on the wall right now. I'm going to say no. I mean, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't see the sport market coming back. I don't know if it's because people won't buy them, but I'll tell you, it's because of the dang old side-by-sides. As great as they are, they're killing the sport ATV market right now.
Yeah. Side-by-sides are huge right now. I mean, everybody can obviously take a buddy with them and go ride. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, I want to be around in the ATV side for a while, and hopefully, like I said, some of the manufacturers come back, or hey, who knows, maybe we'll be on a Walsh hybrid, and obviously getting those guys' business again and get them booming.
There you go. And what about you? With age comes a cage, they say sometimes. Have you even thought about racing the side-by-sides? Is that something that's even crossed your mind yet?
Yeah, I mean, it crossed my mind. If I could get a ride in one, I'd definitely drive one. But they're a lot of money to maintain. It's like working on obviously a truck or a car or something all the time. But if there was a ride out there, I'd definitely hop in one and drive one, and I think I'd do pretty well. I mean, we got the background skills of obviously having a junkyard and smash up derbies and ripping in cars, and then obviously I got to drive a sprint car there for a little bit, and it was fun. So yeah, I'd enjoy it, but me working on one and trying to maintenance myself, I don't think so.
You drive one, I get it.
I'll drive one, but I ain't working on one.
I get it. It's a lot of fun, but like you say, a lot of money, a lot of commitment to racing one of those. Now, let me ask you this question. This is just something off the wall. I've got some ideas of my own in my head, but there was a series that came out that was a side-by-side and a 4x4 ATV series. Would that be something that interested you to even try? Would you be interested in 4x4 ATVs like Landon Wolf, or seeing him make that little switch?
Yeah, I mean, I rode the side-by-side, not side-by-side, the utility before at those quad train challenges, the WPSA. So they were a lot of fun. I'd do that again in a heartbeat. They were a good time. But yeah, Landon making the switch over to that's pretty cool. At least he's still obviously around and in the sport. So, but yeah, if the market definitely goes that way, you'd see me on a 4x4. They're fun.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, just curious, man. Dustin Hendershot wants to know, boy or girl?
Don't know yet.
Still feeling around to find out. No, I think we know the answer to that, man, right?
Yeah, I hope so. But hopefully it's just healthy, whatever happens here. So we'll know here in probably 3 weeks. So we're pretty excited about that. And
what is it with you guys? Chad's having a baby, Joel's having a baby, and you and your wife are having a baby. I mean, that's great. Congratulations to you, by the way.
Yeah, Thad Duvall's having one. Strang, DeLong. There's a bunch of us having one. It must have been just I don't know, weird winter or something.
Wow. So here we go. I mean, in 10 years, you guys are all going to be out in the 8 o'clock race, dude. This is going to be awesome.
It's fun. So
I can't retire now because all these babies coming around. I got to watch the next generation, or maybe my son, or maybe I'll teach my son to announce, and he can announce for your kids or something in the future.
That'd be cool.
That is awesome. But now I think your kid's going to come out. If it's a boy, it's going to be full-grown man right off the bat. It's going to be ready.
Already.
Okay. Josh Lynn wants to know, who are the D6 OGs?
Oh, boy, the OGs, the original gangsters. Obviously, there's a local series by us, District 6, that we all go to, my district, basically, that I grew up racing, and just a couple good buddies. That they have a little Facebook thing that they're in a group, and that's what they call themselves. And I don't know how many there's in there. There's probably 20, 25 people in that group. And actually Johnny G's in there and gets to see all the chaos going on there. But no, good dudes. Josh, he comes down here riding, obviously helps out around the shop as well. And it's pretty cool meeting new people, and obviously them being so close to me, being able to ride and stuff. So
yeah, That's pretty cool. So you've got a really good, strong fan base still. I mean, the old Chris Borich fan base is still there, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's still booming.
I have to imagine that page got pretty lively, and a lot of your fan base got lively after Georgia. Man, I can only imagine it's going to be crazy for you when we hit North Carolina. You think there's going to be a lot of people out there for you?
I think so. I mean, just on it, like social media wise, I got hit up a lot, and then a lot of texts as well saying about how awesome the race was, and haven't seen a race like that in a while. Just battle right to the end and duke it out. So we're excited. Like I said, we're ready for North Carolina.
It's an inspiration, I'm sure. And next question I have comes from a gentleman by the name of David Hawkins. He says, does he miss them days battling with Bill Balance?
Yeah, I mean, back then was good. It was definitely a lot slower of a pace, but it was fun riding with him. He was a heck of a racer, clean rider, and that's all you can ask for as long as you get race clean and you don't have to worry about anybody. It's a lot of fun.
You guys hated each other, though, on the track, didn't you? I mean, literally, I mean, there was a sense, I mean, when you seen Bill Balance, you got a bad taste in your mouth, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't see eye to eye too much. I think he knew I was the next up-and-comer that was going to give him a hard time. And, I mean, I could see that. I mean, a lot of people are like that, but I didn't hate him. I mean, he was a good dude. I respected the way he raced me and the accomplishments he's done. So that's a heck of a career for him.
It is, and he is great. I'd like to see him come back, man. I mean,
yeah, it'd be cool to see him in the vet class or come pro again.
Yeah, hell, Brian Baker did it. I mean,
Brian Baker's doing it again, so that's awesome to see him out again too. So
it really is. I think so. I think that's cool. And what's really neat, and you know what's really neat, I think about that. And you mentioned the vet class. One of these days, that would be cool. See you guys like in the 45 and 50 plus classes battling old pro class competitors. I mean, that's right around the corner, man. I mean, believe me, it happens quicker than you realize. I just turned
40 years.
I remember 35 so easy, brother, and I'm 49 now, and it goes fast. But Brian Vondercheck wants to know, how does he feel about the newly formed Team B&S Racing?
B&S Racing? I don't know who that.
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get a little bit of publicity out there.
Yeah, maybe. Sounds like a cool team.
I know, right? I want to know more about it, Brian.
Yeah, tell us.
Griffin Malone, is retirement becoming a topic of thought?
No, not anytime soon. Like I said, there's as long as I got backing and help, and like I said, as long as I'm having fun and enjoying the sport, which I am, I'll be here for a long time.
Matty Lamberti, what are his thoughts about Josh Lynn?
Josh Lynn. He's a squirrel. No, he's a good dude. He's like I said, he's a good buddy of mine. Just met him, I don't even know, probably 5-6 years ago now, and good. Like I said, good bunch of people. We get to go out and ride, have fun, and enjoy what we like doing.
All right. I got a good one. This comes from a promoter. I actually helped do some consulting work on this particular facility in Chillicothe, Ohio. Chillytown MX is the name of it. But Jeremy is a promoter from Chillicothe, and he says, what would he like to see promoters do differently? And I know you do a little moto. You do a lot of local GNCC stuff and things like that. So from a racer's standpoint, you've been around it on all levels, from the amateur right on up to the professional. I think that's a good question. What would you like to see promoters in general do differently?
You're saying as far as like track days or race days, or you know what I mean, like practice days? There's some tracks down in Florida I just hate going to because the dirt bike guys just hate us. Like, we go there and they think we destroy their tracks, which I guess we do. But as far as me, if I'd ride dirt bike, I like riding the quad tracks, the quad ruts and stuff. But I don't know. I have no idea there. I mean, we're just all there trying to do the same thing that everybody wants to do. The dirt bike guys or the quad guys, we just all need to get along, have fun on the same day. We all enjoy both the power sports, and I guess you just gotta have different track days for.
Okay, well, let me simplify this by saying, realizing that there is a huge and monumental difference in both ATVs and motorcycles. They're two totally different beasts. Consider
Agreed.
having ATV-only events and consider having bike-only events. So how's that? Because that way, the ATVs get to perform at their best, and the motorcycles get to perform at their best. Bike don't screw up a good ATV track, and ATV don't screw up a good bike track.
Or if you can't do that, have the quads go. I mean, we talked to a couple promoters down there down in Florida, like, hey, let us go out later on. Like, we like a rougher track, the quad guys. So have the dirt bikes guys ride from in the morning and then we can ride later afternoon or something like that. But it's just kind of a bummer. Like, a lot of the tracks avoid the basically no quads allowed there anymore, and it kind of a bummer. But like I said, we're all there. We all want to ride, and we all like moto as well. So it's just, I don't know, like you said, either go separate days or dirt bikes morning, quads night, or something like that.
Yeah, just realizing that there's a difference. I mean,
yeah.
and you have to do a little bit of different things for each one. I mean, it might take a little bit of extra work, but I think in the end it'll pay huge dividends on both sides.
For sure.
We're not gonna convince two-wheel guys that just totally hate quads, that quads are okay, and that actually quads are harder to ride and more physically demanding. And
yeah, we can't tell them that. We just ride around on a couch.
Exactly. They need to figure it out for themselves. Some of those guys, man, some of those keyboard warriors, I wish they'd just freaking jump on an ATV and try to ride it one time. Riding an ATV and racing an ATV are two totally – yeah, an ATV is easier to ride around the yard because you're not going to fall over, so to speak. But not when you race the dang thing.
You have to ask some of the pros. We got like Andrew DeLong. We had the Baylors on four-wheelers, Craig DeLong. I mean, we had a lot of the top two-wheel guys in the cross country on four-wheelers, and they know it's tough. It's hard to do.
And you know what's really neat? They gained such a huge and monumental respect for you guys. I see them. They became fans of you guys.
Yeah, we're all friends now. Like before, they didn't like quad guys. Now we're all Caleb Russell that rides one. You got Chris Fox. He got the
Russell's been on quad?
Yeah, he's been on our quads. We went to his place.
How does he do?
They did good. They're good, but they realized how like the dirt bike, obviously you can miss a lot of stuff. For the quad, you got to take the beating. So.
Yeah, you got to be tough to ride a quad. There's no doubt about that. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm horrible on that. I always extend and go a lot farther than what I intend, but this may be a two-parter. But for Tevin Jones, he had a good battle with Brycen Neal last race. What happened to the patented last lap Borich pass? Yeah, that's what happened to the Borich, man.
I tried to Borich him. He held me off pretty good. I think shoulda, coulda, woulda, but if there'd have been a little bit longer of a moto there, I think we could have really got him. But if you've seen on the Monster Mile there, we came up beside him, little Rubbins racing going up into the top corner. He shut me out. We went down into the woods a little bit there, and I was just glued to his bumper, and there was a line I missed to the right, and somebody popped out just a second too late for me to try to pop over there. But yeah, we tried. Like I said, he did a good job holding me off. Like I said, I think a lot of people said if the moto was a little bit longer, more switchbacks going to the finish, we could have got him. But
it is what it is, man. I mean, the cards fall the way that they do, and sometimes things are meant to happen the way they are, because even though you didn't win, look at the inspiration it gave you to come back to win this time. And him winning, look what it did for his inspiration and his confidence. You already know how to win. He needed to figure it out. I think it was the best thing that could have happened for both of you, in my opinion, on that day.
Yeah. I was pumped for him. Like I said, it was good. It was a good battle.
All right, next question comes from Alicia McCormick.
Oh boy.
Rather simple. Is Alicia McCormick your favorite WXC racer?
Oh my God, of course. Why not? No, she's awesome. That whole family is a great family. They came down to my place, and we actually helped Lane. Brian McCormick reached out to me, to my dad, and came down with me and Johnny. Johnny was in. We helped Lane a little bit, and look what he's doing. He's killing it now. And obviously Alicia and Brian, they own the Yield Cycle Barn, Suzuki dealership that obviously helps me out as well. So, and in the end, in that case there, we became really good friends. I mean, I consider him one of my best friends, and her as well. So it's great family, great people, and enjoy going to the races, seeing them, and they come down to my place and hang out. So yeah, she's awesome.
Love the sport, man. Love what the sport does. Larry Mills says, give him my best. You know who Larry is, right? Give him my best and thank him for the loyalty of our brand, DP Brakes. A good way to get your name in there. Larry, don't forget I can use some support down here at Quad Radio too. But I'm pretty loyal as myself. Thank you for the loyalty of our brand, DP Brakes, for so many years and championships. I mean,
yes, for sure. Yeah, thank you, Larry. You've been great to us and my team, or me. So it's got the stopping power to get me some championships. So we're good.
Good. AJ Connors, Johnny Gallagher and Josh Lynn are trapped in a burning building. You can only save one of them. Who do you save?
Man, I think I'm just gonna. I don't even know. I just let them burn.
That's what Josh Lynn said. Josh Lynn commented and said, "Just let it burn."
Just let it burn. Fend for yourself.
Travis Bieber says, hope he gets a win this Saturday. Maybe that will get him going in the right direction. I agree with you, Travis. And then Scott Connors, this is another Josh Lynn comment. Is Josh Lynn going to approve his membership to the DSIC OGs, or is he leaving him hanging?
I don't know. He's got a lot on his plate. I think he's coming down to North Carolina this weekend, so we'll have to see how he does.
All right, man. Well, that's awesome, man. I think some good questions there and a lot of fun. And
yep.
Obviously, man, you've got a great fan base. I'm excited. I'm pumped, man. I hate to call you a living legend, but you are that, man. I'm the winningest GNCC racer of all time. But you're also just plain old Chris Borich, you know, that likes to ride his ATV, man. Likes to win races, and we like to see that happen. So I'm going to let you go. It's been for freaking ever on here, I know. But any parting shots, anything that you wanted to add that we didn't get a chance to talk about, any messages that you want to send out to somebody like, I'm coming to get you, boy?
No, I mean, they know it. I'm coming. I'm finally getting her working. But no, it's just obviously the GNCC. Thanks for obviously putting on a great series. And tracks have been great. All my fans, friends that tune in, watch, cheer me on, we'll be back. And obviously just all my great sponsors that keep it going, keep me going. And Maxxis Tires for one, Fly Racing, just a couple. I see you wearing the Fly hat representing. So, and everybody else. I mean, like you said, DP Brakes, Custom Access Shocks. I mean, Walsh, SSI decals. Just I wish I had my bike here that I could list them off, but there's so many great sponsors that keep me rolling, and obviously Yield Cycle Barn, Brian and those guys. But yeah, just everybody, thank you so much. I'm just pumped for what comes in the future. Obviously having a little baby here soon, and look forward to seeing if we got a little Borich coming and another little racer. Either way, we'll probably have a racer out of it. And so everybody's pumped for that. But yeah, thanks again for having me on. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and we'll get to that center of the box this weekend.
All right, man. That's great. I really appreciate you taking the opportunity to talk with us, and good luck in the future. Congratulations on the addition to the family. And with that, that's Chris Borich right over there. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is Quad Radio.
Thank you.